New farms. How are you doing today? We are starting shortly. And let's bring our guests. We're bringing our guests to join in. Okay. All right. Mm, sorry, trying it out to join. I'm trying to accept your requests. Sorry for. I'm trying this. It's not connecting here. Don't know what is happening. Okay.
Hey,
All right, sir.
there we go.
Yes, sir. Big ups to the Josh. Big ups to the
What's up,
Josh.
man?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Like it's a great privilege and honor to have you around. I mean, thank you for making it up with us. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a great artist. Thank you for the access and privilege, sir. This really means so much to us. I
man.
mean,
Absolutely,
you
man.
could you could probably be doing something else right now, and you still choose to be with us. I mean, it's indeed a much great. That Josh, the greatest of all time, man. This is just so amazing, sir. I'm just so glad, like, to meet you, and this is really much more of a blessing to me and to the community as well. I
Yeah,
mean, thanks
yeah,
for making it up. So, without wasting much of our time, let's just go into the
yeah.
business and business for the day.
All
Yes, sir. Okay, all right. Can we have a short prayer, sir? So, our great Father in heaven and earth, we want to thank you for this blessed moment you have given us the privilege to witness. We thank you for giving us the opportunity for another live session right here on DrumGURUZ Global Musician Community. We pray that you have your way this evening and you speak to us through our guests in the name of Jesus. And at the end of everything, we will have the glory and honor to return all the glory back to you. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Good morning, sir. Okay, let me just make a little bit introduction. Good evening, everyone. I mean, good evening, fams. Here is a boy again, Shags. I mean, the conveners of the Drum Gurus musician community. And right here, live on Instagram, we are here again with one among the greatest of all time. I mean, he's a brother, he's a friend, he's a mentor. I mean, is somebody who I've been looking up to for several years, whom you and I mean, he's just somebody who is great. I mean, being in the game for over years, and we are so glad to have him. Not other than Joshua Foster from for he was from Fort Worth, Texas, but now in Los Angeles. I mean, we are super excited to have him around. So as we dive into the section, I know you will be able to pick one or two things that can help change the game and take your music or music career to another level. So, without wasting most of our time, we get started. So, sir, our first question is: can you just tell us how the musical journey started? I mean,
yeah,
early life stage
yeah,
music.
yeah. Early life. So, like you said, so I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. My parents, were both all around Texas, but my I was born in Waco, Texas.
Wow.
And that's where it really started for me. I started playing around 2, 3 years old, and then from there, I'll move through it a little quick, just I know for time purposes. But so I started playing 2, 3 years old, pots and
Mm,
pans, the whole nine. playing in church, on everything. Like once service was done, the drummers would let me get on the kit, and play around. But once I was able enough to hold time on a consistent basis, my father allowed me to play every Sunday morning at 5 years old.
Mm.
And
Yes,
so
sir.
from 5 years old to 12, I played in church only. And then at 12, I started playing in clubs with my dad. So I started playing like R&B and funk and,
Mm.
jazz. And then I started doing jazz band in school from sixth grade through high school. So all the way up
Yes,
until I was
sir.
about 18, I played in church. I always played in church, but I played jazz and funk and R&B on the weekends with my dad and my
Mm.
uncles and everyone in Fort Worth. And so from there, man, my dad put me on my first live recording when I was 12. And then from there, we did
Wow.
recordings. We did recordings every couple of years with his group, Nero Foster and Communion. And from there, man, uh, doing jazz band, doing all types of symphonic stuff. So I play
Mm.
snare drum, I play bass drum, cymbals, xylophone, marimba, all of
Mm.
the timpani, like all of the concert band stuff as well. And
Yes,
so
sir.
when I got through high school, of course, I went to Berkeley College of Music,
Yes,
and
sir.
there, once I got there, man, my eyes opened up to the possibilities of what led me to where I'm at now. And it's that you
Mm.
can be a chameleon. You can be this individual that uses your gift to put you in different places in different positions. And so,
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of the
Yes, sir.
experience I had from my adolescence age up until now, I was able to build the chops and build a certain momentum with understanding vocabulary of different musical genres from a young
Mm.
age till, and which all of that has helped me be in the positions that I'm in now, which, from the award shows to working with different artists to doing production of my own to being a part of productions,
Mm.
being in the studio with different
Sir.
artists and other musicians as well. It allows for me to have something to draw from, from my early age.
Mm.
So I was blessed. I was blessed from an early age to have that God-given talent from a young age. And then, my dad, my mom as well. My dad plays rhythm section instruments, bass, guitar, drums,
Wow.
organ,
Wow.
and
So music,
sings.
music in the blood.
Yeah,
Music in the blood.
yeah. I see Caleb just got on here. He was like Josh basically cheated. That's stupid. But yeah, so with that being said, and then my mom played clarinet, saxophone, I believe,
Wow.
as well, in
Wow.
jazz band, and she sings as well. So
Wow.
that's and then going even further, my grandfather played bass. We found out later he played upright
Wow.
bass, and so it's been
Wow.
in my blood for so long. So
Mm.
that was really the early life. I got immersed into this thing really early. So,
Wow.
now is a manifestation of
Mm.
that raising,
Sir.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. Yes, I mean this is a great way. I mean, it's a great start, man, and that has really reflected in your musical journey. I mean, wow, it's just so important to me, like, and so surprising. You starting your musical journey at 3, man. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
way back. That's way back, man. Okay,
Absolutely.
all right, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. Another question is, why do you choose music? Why do you choose
Ah,
music? Because you could probably be doing something else. Like you could probably be a doctor, be a lawyer, an engineer, and but why music? Why?
yeah, no, that's a great question. I know for me, I would say, because, if I could have been a doctor or been one of those other things, I probably would have done that, and I would have, really applied myself to that.
Yes, sir.
This question is great for me because I tell people when we get to this is,
Somebody
that's funny.
say you try
He tried
basketball.
basketball. Oh, that's Mr. Greg. Hey man, I didn't try. I was good at it, but nah.
Wow,
That's
wow.
hilarious. But yeah, I played basketball, I played sports, but honestly, man, you know, it's funny that he said that, but it's true. Everything else would be me trying to do something. music wasn't me trying to do that. Like I didn't choose music. That
Mm.
chose me. Like that
Wow.
was what God placed on me. That I Everything else is something that I was out here applying
Yes,
myself
sir.
to do and trying. Music, that was already a that it's I don't know how to say other than like it wasn't a tangible thing. Like it I didn't have to reach and grab for it. It was already
Yeah. In
possessed,
there.
and then
Yes,
all
sir.
I did was just hone those skills. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
yeah, I would say I didn't, why music? I would ask music that question, like why me? You know what I mean? Like that's
Yes, sir.
you know what
Why
I
do you
mean?
choose
But
me? Why do you choose me,
right,
man?
right, because I didn't, as before I could talk, I could do this. I could mouth. I was mouthing beats. My grandmother tells me that all the time. Like when she sees the different things that I'm doing now, she's like, "Who would have known that you would be at this place now where it's like
This place now.
you were doing that then, like before I could
Then.
say words,
Mm.
I was trying to beatbox." And so it was just like,
Mm.
that, yeah, I didn't choose music, man.
Yeah. Music
That
chose
chose
it.
that
And
chose me, man.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I could say it like this code. I say it's not music is not just what you do, it's who you are. We could say that.
Absolutely. It's synonymous with your life. I don't
Yes.
creativity in general is that. There is
Mm.
no my big brother who's the MD for Mariah who we work with, he always talks about everyone definitely has a yin and a yang, but as far as your creativity and your
Mm.
life, those things do go together. And it will
Mm.
show what one or the other is going to show up in the other thing.
Sir.
It's
Yes,
just
sir.
to what extreme does it lean on? But
Mm.
it always shows up. So yeah, life and your music, yeah, it is who you are for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. All right. I'm just trying to move fast because we don't want
No,
to
I
take
got
much
you.
of your time.
No, you're
Okay.
good.
All right, sir. Okay. Now another question is that I've been a fan of your music for over the years, even though I've not been to the United States before. But I've been watching. I've had an experience of meeting great musicians right here, like to the glory of God,
Yeah.
right from the UK, United States, Canada, and I always put out this type of question that how can you describe the type of music that you create?
Got you. Um, Describing the type of music, I would say, um, what I would like to say is people music, I'm not gonna take that quote. My friend Von Henry, amazing uh, pianist, keyboard, ox, bassist. I mean, all around just savant of this thing. He's amazing, and they have a band. Him, my bro Dave Shiverton, Dylan, bass, and Markel as um on drums. It's a yes. I'm sorry. There it is. The Smoogies. Thank you, because I was getting ready to say their name. And I was like, but
Yes, sir.
but there's this thing about making music that resonates with people. You don't say roots. I don't. Oh, I don't know who just said that. That's hilarious. Um, you make music from a place. For me, I make music from a place of wanting to create an experience for someone, whether it's um, dancing,
Mm.
whether it's being reflective, inner reflective,
Mm. Yes,
um,
sir.
or if it's something to put people in a state of I
Maybe
don't know. Uh,
maybe it's put a state of rest to relax.
Yeah, like more in a meditative, like it just depends on the thing, but for what I do mainly it is for people to dance, people to have a good time, to
Mm.
create somewhat of a party experience um in whatever setting.
Yes,
Just
sir.
because most people's experience is they're not living the experience that they would like to live.
Yes. Yes,
So
sir.
your music, my music creates that. You know what I mean? and the projects that I'm a part of. So that's what I would say. And oh, that's funny.
Mm.
Somebody just said, I mean, and I took that from Maya Angelou. People don't forget how you
Forget
made
how
them
you
feel.
made them feel.
So
Yes,
the same
sir.
thing with my company, Feel Over Flash. It's the same thing. It's like where Flash captures people's attention, it's Feel
Yes,
that
sir.
captures people's
Yes, sir.
heart. And that's a big thing for me because it's never what I'm playing per se. That's
Yes,
the
sir.
initial. That's the initial like, oh man, he just played something.
Just play
But it's
something.
like,
Yes, sir.
but it's like once you leave, it's like, nah, he really felt like that had
Yeah,
an
that
experience
moment
on it.
keep reflecting in your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that is needed. So that's what my music or anything I'm a part of, I would want that to reflect. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You said okay. Wow, wow, wow. I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this section. What a great one indeed. So okay, for example, now, so who are some of the musicians that you are inspired by, like people you look up to, people that influence your
Yeah.
music while growing up to
Yeah.
date?
So till today, well, first and foremost, my father, Nero Foster, like that has been a huge influence on my playing, mainly because that was like the roadmap and a
Mm,
leader in my life with
mm,
music for all of my
yes, sir.
adolescence of ages all the way up through teenage. So before I got in a lot of the playing settings now, it would be him.
Mm,
And then from there, it would go to my, school band teachers. So Michael Dawson and Adam Kramer. Mr. Dawson was at the middle school. Oh, I'm sorry. Before them, sixth grade. Chrissy Calva, um, and she's been married, and I'm trying to think of her new last name. But she was very pivotal in my, you know, getting out of just drum set into all the other instruments of
instruments.
percussion, because that's the
Yes,
thing.
sir.
Drum set is a part of a bigger sphere as far as what percussion is, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
so,
Yes, sir.
playing drum set is a part of playing a bunch of different things all
Different
together at one
things
time.
together
But
at once. Yes, sir.
so that would be that, and then Michael Dawson and Mr. Adam Kramer. Mr. Kramer, they were the jazz band directors at the high school, but they were also the musical directors. I'm sorry, the band directors at the middle school, and came to the high school to do jazz band. So they created a whole nother thought process in my approach, because with jazz,
Mm,
there's a different approach to your finesse, to your
mm.
dynamics, to your
Yes, sir.
expressiveness and creativeness when it comes to fills and chops and stuff.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, I would say, for a lot of my uncles that played with my dad, they were that. Um, and then after that, going to Berkeley, I would say Kim Plainfield, rest in peace. He was
Mm,
my uh, he was my instructor for I want to say the last 2.5 to 3 years of my time being at Berkeley, because I did. Oh, I took brushes for like 2 semesters, John Hazilla,
mm.
and then I went
Wow.
straight to Kim Plainfield, and those two guys would be that, and Tia Fuller, amazing
Mm,
saxophonist, but she's one of the professors at Berkeley, still, and she put me in a lot of leadership positions. So
yes, sir.
I started MDing the Beyonce ensemble at Berkeley, and played, but I played in several of her other ensembles: Esperanza Spalding Ensemble, Duele, Christian McBride, like mad different stuff.
Mm,
And
mm.
when she put me in the MD position, it opened up my brain to, okay, now how do I lead people while still being excellent on my instrument? And
Yes,
then
sir.
how
Mm,
do I bring excellence out of everyone else? Not just through what I
mm.
say,
Yes,
but what
sir.
I play and how I am with organizing. How am I reaching out to people, rallying the
Yes, sir.
troops? And then when coming to Atlanta, and I'm going through a few people pretty quickly, but it's like
No problem.
there's so many people
Fine.
that I meet that are an influence,
Strength.
or if you will, an angel that God sends along the way.
Yes, sir.
But going to Atlanta, man, Ronnie Garrett, Tyler
Mm,
Perry's MD, several movies, several records, several plaques, Grammys, the whole nine. Like that's my OG to this day. We talk like every couple of days. He's a huge influence on my thought
yes, sir.
process, not just in music, but in life, right? Because
Life. Yes, sir.
we just said, this music is a part of it is your life. So then,
Yes,
how do
sir.
you juggle everything? That's one guy. Um, and then Daniel Moore, who's the MD for Mariah Carey, and then also the MD for all of the award shows that I play, which is the Black Music Honors, Urban One Honors, Stella Awards, and there's other shows that come up at different times. But he's a huge influence and a mentor, and
Yes, sir.
and then from there, man, there's a lot of people now that have become mentors in different ways. Oh, another guy that I can't leave out, Aaron Lindsay. Aaron Lindsay, man, amazing producer, husband, songwriter, artist, and now pastor. And
Mm,
him and his wife, Adrian, his kids, his whole family, like that's my fam. Like, and there's now I look up to people not just for musical influence, but life influence because
general.
at a certain point, once the work now that I'm in, where it's like once this was a dream, right?
Mm.
When I was still
Yes,
living in
sir.
Tech, when I was in Texas, this was a dream,
Mm,
and now I'm living the dream. So now
mm.
there's other dreams that I still see and other visions that I want to go to. But how do you
Mm.
juggle right now? Because a lot of times in this day and age, as you know, with social media or whatever,
Yes,
with so many
sir.
things flowing at one time, a lot of people get off of their focus and
Mm.
concentration on right now. And so
Mm.
for me, there's a huge outpouring of inspiration and influence from people that I look up to, no matter the
Mm.
age, because wisdom doesn't have a age, but
Age
I
rate.
do.
Yes, sir.
I pay attention to people who have done it and done it what I want to do over and over again,
Yes, sir.
right? That have a consistency of success, a consistency of growth as well, because this thing tomorrow there could be another person doing
Person.
what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So,
That's a great one. Yes, sir.
yeah, so you really gotta I have all of those mentors and influences, but to be honest with you, man, at the end of the day, like you started off this interview with, is God and prayer and um
So,
being centered. That's the main thing for me that has kept me, because the industry that I'm in, that we're in, that all of us, that if you're in entertainment in any capacity, you're living by faith every single day, no matter
mm.
what.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
so yeah, man, that's those are a few of those people for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I mean, it is also reflected in your journey. I mean, how could you? I mean, there are just a quite number of people that have been of influence
Joy,
to you.
what
Like,
up?
look,
Yeah, no,
okay.
thank you.
So, all right. Okay. Another question is, I've seen you like you've worked with like in your biography as well, and credit you've worked with people like Tamila Man, Shandy Khan, Tyler Perry, Davies, and many more like that. So, how has been your experience? I mean, playing with these people? I mean, how has been your experience and how has it contributed to your musical journey?
Yeah. Well, man, I've been blessed to play with the people you've named and many others at a high level on a consistent basis, and I'm extremely blessed to do that. And I'm also grateful that the hard work and prayer element, right? Because you can't have one without the other. Faith without works is
Yes,
dead.
sir.
Like that's something that I take pride in, not to the point that it exceeds and goes into arrogance, nothing like that, but
Yes, sir.
confident I confidently feel like a lot of the artists and moments that I've been placed in, it's contributed in a way that I actually don't think I comprehend. I've been
Mm,
blessed. I've been blessed to be in a lot of environments ahead of my time, if that makes sense.
mm.
So
Yes,
I'm in a
sir.
lot. I'm in a lot of high level things, and I've been doing that from a young age. So now my level of thought process is here because the band members I have are years in it. They're
Mm,
they're years in understanding different environments. So they have
mm.
more wisdom and more knowledge that I can take from.
Yes,
So in every
sir.
situation with these different artists, working with the artists are great. And I
Mm,
take pride in that. But it's also the people that are right around the artist that I'm around
mm.
all the time that I'm
Yes, sir.
grabbing a lot of knowledge from.
Yes, that you can
You know,
absorb. Yes, sir.
so that's a huge thing, and I feel like everything is because everything is connected. Each situation,
Mm,
job, opportunity that I've been a part of has all been a leveling up of like, okay, I got what I needed at level one. I'm getting
mm.
all right, take that to level two, get what you need there.
Two.
So I'm just grabbing the bag like Santa Claus about to go hand out presents. I'm creating this whole portfolio,
Yes, sir.
right? That I'm getting to one day, and what I'm already doing it now with the master class, and I plan on doing more of it with doing clinics and give
Session.
backs. But I'm taking everything that I'm grasping and then giving it
Oh,
because
yes.
it does no good to get all of that information and hold it. It it
Mm.
it does no good. That's not what we're supposed to do anyway. We're supposed to give, and so for me, the contribution is really just giving. Like be a sponge, because when you squeeze a sponge, it releases what was in it.
Yes, sir.
But it did
Yes, sir.
absorb it. It absorbed it and then released it. So
Let's
that's
start.
something. Yeah, that's
Mm.
that's that's what's needed, man. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. We have some couple of questions in the question bank. After everything, we'll attend to them all one after the other. So, people, you can drop your question there for him to attend to. Then, after the session, we will read them out. Then we attend to them so that he can
Okay.
answer them. Okay, all right. Another one thing again is that there is this question I've always loved to ask our facilitators whenever they are around, because to me, we have loved to always check in people who are right there ahead of us, people who are above us,
Right.
people who have been much more in the game in terms of experience,
Yeah.
people have been like been around the world and they have something to say.
Right.
So, my question again is that what are some of the challenges you faced while growing up as a musician, and how were you able to overcome them?
Yeah. Oh man, you need to block such and such. I don't know who that is that just commented that. But yeah, I would say, yeah, that comment, that's crazy. Are you able to get them out of here?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. No, it's fine. We won't even. Let's just get through.
Yes,
So
so sorry about that. Let's
no,
just
it's all
continue.
good.
So sorry about that.
It's no, it's not you, brother. So I would say, what adversities or there's an adversity right there. But
Yes, sir.
like, what have I dealt with? I would say, just like with in any, everyone goes through different difficult situations, and for me, um, you know, going before leaving for Berkeley, my parents ended up splitting up after
Wow.
being with each other for a while.
Wow.
So the biggest adversity from that wasn't them splitting up. Like they're both great. Both my parents are amazing, and they're living their best life now. But it for me what I once knew before I went to Berkeley, when I went off to school, that was kind of already in the air, and by the time I start to come back to visit, it
Mm.
was already split apart. So for the
Wow.
longest, I went on this seesaw of wanting to go home, like while I was in Boston at Berkeley, and every time I would be so excited, like holidays is coming up and we get a break from school, man. I'm like, man, I'm finna go to the crib. And every time I would get home, I would
Mm.
instantly want to leave. And I was like, what
Mm.
is that? Why is that? And then
Mm.
again, go back to school, be there, working hard, forget about it, right?
Yes,
And then
sir.
ready to go home again. And then I get home and then I'm ready to leave. And so that went
To
on
leave.
that went on for about 3 years because I finished early. So it
I
was
think that
about
was
3 years.
in eight. You're an 18 set, right?
I graduated in 18, but I
18.
I finished in 17 because I moved to Atlanta in 2017. But
Okay.
but yeah, so with that being said, from that, everyone has to grow up. And
Yes, sir.
I've always been told that I was mature for my age, but I feel like that led me to one, not put blame or put weight on someone else for what I wanted
Mm.
to do for me, right? Because
Yes,
I
sir.
could have I could have used that opportunity to, well, kind of take more of the standpoint of why is this happening to me,
Mm.
um, and kind of stifle my growth and improvement and where I wanted to go because of something that
Mm.
happened that doesn't actually have anything to do with me.
To do it.
Um,
Yes, sir.
because the only job that my parents have is to, at that time, was to provide love and to grow us up in a way that allows us to then operate self-sufficiently, right?
Mm. Mm. Yes, sir.
So I could never place more than that on them. As an adult
Mm.
now, it's the same thing for me to give that love back to them.
Back
But
to them. Yes, sir.
so with that being said, that adversity, I took that as a as a prideful way, in a healthy
Mm.
way, to
Mm.
live on my own from 17, 18. From then on till now, I went harder than I know a lot of my peers and different people that I've been around. I've been laser
Mm.
focused on getting to the next level, putting myself in a different position,
Yes,
um,
sir.
being able to take all of the great things that were sold into me from a young age, and not overlook the adversity. You got to take the good and the
And the
bad, but
bad. Yes, sir. That's
but
what life is made of.
that's what it's made of. But you have to keep moving, and I think a lot of
Mm.
times, like, that was a moment that I could have just stopped. That was a
Mm.
that was a
Mm.
moment where I could have been like, man, like, I don't
Been
really know.
discouraged and you just let it go.
To be honest, I let that was a moment where I completely let that be for what it was, and I just went on. I went on and just allowed for really God to just lead me and direct me,
Yes,
but
sir.
also put me in healthy spaces to where I could still grow. And there's many
Yes,
other
sir.
adversities. Moving to Atlanta. Uh,
Mm.
I I didn't have a gig when I moved to Atlanta. Like, I didn't.
Mm.
There was nothing promised to me. I mean, I made trips because my wife is from Atlanta, and so
Oh,
and she went to Berkeley too. So when I visited her family, I went around town and went to Apache when it was open, the
yes, sir.
older the infamous one that everybody knows about, and I went around to a lot of different places and told people I'm getting ready to move. I'm getting ready to move.
Yes, sir.
Like 2, 3 years in advance.
Mm.
However, you don't know what you're getting yourself into until you do it. And so
Mm.
I literally just I never took my mind off of what the job was going to be, what the focus,
Mm.
because everyone's going to deal with something, whether it's your family, whether it's
Mm.
losing a job, losing someone, or
Mm.
you know, um, there's so many other things that are not coming to mind that I could speak on. But as far as that, between that at a young age and then getting into adulthood, and then now it's like, okay, now I got to figure out how I'm going to live and survive on my own, because going
Yes,
home
sir.
wasn't an option for me. Not that my
Yes,
parents
sir.
wouldn't have allowed, they would have allowed me to come home. What I'm telling you is, I'm not allowing me to go home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I left Boston, I made up my mind that I would not go home unless I was willingly going to move back and
Right.
just be there because I want to be
Yes,
there. But
sir.
no, for the longest, that was never an option for me, and I've been self-sufficient since then. But all of that is just a part of it, man. And for
Wow.
someone else, it could be a whole different story.
Yes, sir.
But no matter what, if this is for anybody watching right now, like no matter what, you have to keep going though. You
Mm.
you got to keep
Sir.
going, and it's difficult. It gets difficult, but you gotta keep going. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, I think like for people watching us now, I think somebody just got inspired with those statements. Like I mean, was everything we are going through, life goes on. Then we just have to keep moving. Thank you for that, sir. That's so amazing. That's so amazing.
Absolutely, man.
Okay, another one right here again is uh how how do you like you are just one among the, let's say, one among the A-list and musician in the United States, like privileged that I'm privileged to meet, and um, you've been so amazing. You've been so amazing with no discoloration. You've been so amazing. Like
Thank
you've
you, man.
been such a big influence to me and everybody around here. So we big us much love from Nigeria. I mean,
Thank you, man.
thank you very much. Okay, all right. So you've been with so many musicians. I mean, different room, different atmosphere, different gathering. So how do you cope being a musician? That moment you are a musician among equal.
Okay. And I just want to make sure I'm understanding. You saying how do you cope?
Yeah.
Got you. And then just the last part one more time. How do I cope
I,
with
I mean,
being?
yes, yes. Like, how do you cope? I mean, being a musician at that moment, you are a musician among equal. I mean,
Got you.
whereby you have a lot of, yes, sir.
Like among other musicians that are at that same thing,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and you're
sir.
asking how does that feel?
Yeah, and how do you, yes, how do you feel? How does that feel, and how do you tend to move along? It's just kind of somehow like when you are in the gathering whereby you have people who are out there, you have your age mate, and you have people who are also made with you, like colleagues.
Got
So
you.
how do you do, man? Like how do you
Yeah.
feel?
No, okay. Got you. No, that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I was talking about this with Daniel Moore yesterday, actually at lunch, and I think, everyone has a place in your life, and specifically for mine, my life is very compartmentalized as far as
Mm.
like what's what, right? So for one, being a part of a musician community that I could walk in spaces with other great musicians that I've looked up to, that I respect and honor, and to be accepted and to be viewed
So,
as a peer amongst that is
mm,
amazing. However,
mm,
the other side to that is, I will never feel comfortable in that. Like I will never like feel like I've arrived or that I've made it, and then I could just like, I'm that guy. No, it's not
yes,
that.
sir.
It feels great to be a part of a large community of amazing creatives and
Mm,
talented individuals. However, like we just said, those people that are like mentors to me, they have their place.
yes,
Those
sir.
my spiritual advisors have their place, right? And then my peers that are like my same age or near my age, they have their place too, and we
Yes,
have
sir.
those dynamics. But I think the thing about music is because it's timeless. That's
Mm,
how life. That's how life is lived for me.
yes,
So
sir.
with the Mariah crew, I'm the youngest. With the Renee rap crew, I'm not the youngest. With
Mm.
and it just differs everywhere. You know what I mean? But
Yes,
like for
sir.
me, it's about being able to chameleon myself in all of these spaces, and
Yes,
people
sir. I make a
still
balance.
right, and people are still getting the same version of me. But yeah, man, it feels amazing to be a part of such a creative group of people, of individuals. Like it's every day I see stuff on here on Facebook or whatever, like TikTok, like seeing all of these different people that I didn't know of,
Mm.
as well, that it's all getting added to this community of like,
Yes,
man, like
sir.
it's so many creative people, and the ages are getting younger. Like I'm looking at people who are playing now at 10 and 12 and 11 and down. Like when I was that age, I like I said, I've been playing that long, but I did not sound like that
Yes,
at that age.
sir. That's true.
And
Right, right, right. You're
so
right.
like this guy, John Miles Brockman, I believe, on IG, man, you got to check him out. But man,
Yes.
he be
What?
posting
Sorry, sorry.
videos.
What's the name? What's the name? What's the name?
John Miles Brockman, I believe. I think that's Brockman's his last name, but John Miles is his first and middle. That's
Yes,
on
sir.
his Instagram. But
Yes.
man, so that's those are the kind of things that keep this thing moving and going. But it's
Mm.
important for me. It's important for anyone on here to be a part of a few different environments so that
Yes, sir.
you keep massaging the muscle memory of like I know how to be in these different spaces
Yes,
and be able to communicate.
sir. Yes,
You have to
sir.
be
Yes,
able to
sir.
communicate in those different spaces, especially if you want to create a longevity. And the people that I look
Mm.
at have a longevity in this. Teddy Campbell, Lil John Roberts, Calvin Rogers,
Yes,
my
sir.
favorite hometown, Robert Spud Seawright. Um,
Oh my
you
God,
know,
these are
there's
great people, man. Yes,
and
sir.
there's many others. There's many others, but there's a level of uh, one of my super favorites that I have to say is Aaron Spears. So
Mm. Of
that,
blessed memory.
and so it's important to be in a lot of these different environments and to, as well as I'm soaking up knowledge and wisdom, you also want to take up space and create something
Mm.
that also does further it. So as well
Yes,
as I'm
sir.
taking in this information and being a part of something, I'm also giving something and then putting my
Something.
stamp
Yes,
on this
sir.
is me and this is my version of this art, you know.
Mm.
But yeah, man.
Yes, sir. 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 Thanks very much. Thanks very much. I hope you guys out there, um you are learning something new. Cause my daughter here, I mean, I have a whole lot. I've written so much down right here. So, sir, okay. On to the next one. Okay, how do you try to keep up with industry trends and stay innovative in your production techniques?
Got you. The first part you said, endorsements.
No, no, no. I mean, I mean industry
Oh, industry.
trends.
Got you.
I
Okay,
mean,
I'm just making sure. Um, how do you keep up with like my production and then but still moving in the industry?
I'm like,
Um,
do you get my question, sir?
say it again.
I said, you get my question. You get my
Say
question.
say the last part one more time. I'll just make sure
Okay.
I
I
accent
mean,
is
what I mean is that what I mean.
super
Okay.
super thick.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Hmm.
Okay, so what I mean is that music is just kind of it's just kind of something that evolves, and if you are not fitting with that time,
Got you.
that means maybe you are not good at what you do. So I'm trying to ask that how do you try to keep up with industry trends? Like I mean, much more of how were you able to keep the relevancy up to
Got
date?
you. Awesome, man. And by the way, bro, you are doing a great job with doing this interview. Um,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. So that's great that you said that, right? So how do you keep up? Well, the industry in general has a certain tone as far as what's excellent, what's accepted, and what's not. But how
Mm.
do you keep up? For me, it's not even really keeping up, it's doing the job. So, for
Mm.
instance, the best example I can give you is between Mariah and then Renee, and then the TV stuff. So, let's start with the Mariah stuff. That sitting in that chair is a very disciplined approach to music in general because
Mm.
people are coming everywhere we go, overseas, here. They know those songs.
Mm. Mm.
So a lot of my approach is not out too far outside of what the song
Of the
already has going.
music. Yes,
I
sir.
get
Wow. Wow.
I
Wow.
because of Daniel's leadership and because of M's creative ears, and I do get away with throwing in chops in different places, but it's very few and far between. It's definitely a disciplined approach. It's more of a
Yes, sir.
pristine, more of a professional, like this is locked in. And then with Renee, same thing. So over here, it still has the pop elements of Mariah as far as the discipline, but then we rock out, and then of course the amazing musical director and arranger, programmer, producer Terrence Vaughn. T. Vaughn has
Yes, sir.
created.
Tiva. Yes, sir. Yes,
He's
sir. Yes,
he's
sir. I know
he's
him.
you know who it is. So he created
Yes, sir.
a lot of elements for us to musically give the music something else in that live space. So
Mm.
there's a different level of freedom over here where
Yes, sir.
I still have to be disciplined, but I have a little more of a lane with,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
now I can do this, right?
You can express yourself.
Right. So then with the TV stuff, depending on the medley and the artist and the year, right? Because music that came out at different points, you can create to those in a different way. So
Yes, sir.
music from the 1970s, 80s, 90s,
Yes,
2000s, well, even before 2000, if you stop at 90s and then 2000s until now, it's
yes,
so
sir.
much. So with the TV stuff, I have to use a different approach on
Approach.
every single performance. Every single medley that we do, it's pulling from something else. And
Mm.
so how do you stay relevant in this thing is you move with the time. So whatever is
Mm.
moving at that time, you approach with your wisdom and your knowledge and your understanding, but to that gig. So I'm not playing with Mariah trying to take from Renee and
Yeah.
vice versa. And then I'm not playing TV shows trying to approach it like I would Mariah
To
or
put some
Renee
more
or
right.
whatever.
Yes,
And it's
Renee.
like, no, it you have to do what the job needs each time. And
Mm.
let me say this, and this is for those of you and us who want to work in the capacity that I'm talking about, that I'm in personally. If you want to do the artistry thing and you play your own music and you do whatever else, great. But then there's a different level of freedom that you can create with that
Mm.
because now you don't have someone that's like, well, I need to still hear the record. I still need to feel this. And there's a lot of
Mm.
conversation now about what's the record and what's not, or what. For me, it's the record is not an interpretation of the record.
Mm.
Playing like the gigs that I'm on, I'm not playing an interpretation of it. I'm playing exactly the pattern that's on the record.
Exactly what. Yes,
And
sir.
then I add me to it.
Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, are you with me, sir?
You got me? You got me?
Okay, okay. Got you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you,
Okay,
sir.
yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so it's just basically again just you're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You are what you the record is what it is, and then you add to it from there.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man,
Wow.
that would be
Wow. 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 I mean, somebody just asked now that we need to save this live session. I mean, we're gonna save these and we're gonna push it out there because somebody needs to see this live session. I mean, this is really so much amazing, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you for
man.
making it up. Like,
Oh,
thank you for
thank you.
making it up. Okay, so before we go, okay, I still have some couple of questions. So, sir, we would love you to talk about, everybody just up there, feel over flash, first time music production. How, like, what is it all about? How did it, how do you get into it? Like, where do you go there from? How were you able to come up with such program and community?
Yeah, well, so myself and my wife Lyric, we've been talking about the Fill Over Flash stuff for a while, and I brought up to her, the fact of the quote that lives with me from Maya Angelou is people will forget what you said, what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
How you make them feel? Yes,
And
sir.
and the concept again is from a place of I don't want to just say something. I want to leave something.
Something.
Legacy is huge to me, and everything I'm doing is to create that. And so good, bad, and indifferent. So with that, the Fill Over Flash masterclass is out. So for all of you on here that
Yes,
that
sir.
need, that need it and want it, go check it out. It's on my personal page and on my business on the Fill Over Flash page,
Yes, sir.
and then and on everywhere. TikTok. I just created the TikTok for Philip Flash, so follow that because
Yes,
there's
sir.
going to be more coming from that. But um, with that, new merch is coming too.
Yes, sir. We can wait. We can
Yep,
wait.
I
I think that's
got.
I think that's in October or November, thereabout.
Yeah,
I think I saw the update.
yeah. We didn't set a date for the merch just yet, but the I'm about to post some things for the logos that will be on the merch because I have merch out right now. Like if you go to the website, there's merch you can purchase, but I'm just saying there's gonna be a new influx of like, all right, here's the new merch,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
just putting that out there so you guys are the first to hear that. But yeah,
Uh,
excuse me. What created something new was the fact of like we talking about legacy. I didn't want to just play gigs or play tours or play shows and just really just playing be the only thing that I leave and give. Um,
mm.
like I talked about earlier, it's nothing if I'm not giving back, if I didn't allow
Yes,
someone
sir.
else to be able to experience me from a different place. So Fill Over Flash is that it's a lifestyle brand. It's something that we're building from the ground up that will be a brand that does stand alone, like a
Yes,
Nike,
sir.
like a you know H&M and Forever 21, all these places, anything that you can think of. Fill Over Flash will be a lifestyle thing from music to art to interviews to the whole nine. It's literally going to be something that people are able to grab a hold to, and to experience myself and Lyric in another capacity, right? Because
Yes, sir.
there's more coming from Phil Over Flash that has nothing to do with music.
Mm.
So, and for me, I've always wanted to diversify my life, from a financial standpoint and from a creative standpoint. I don't just play drums. I produce, I musical
Yes,
direct,
sir.
I arrange, I program, I do all of that stuff. So I mix, and so there's
Wow.
just I would now don't send me your projects to be mixing because I'm gonna send it to an actual mixing engineer that I
Engineer.
trust.
Yes,
However,
sir.
I just want to clarify because I'm not going to sit here and claim stuff that I'm not an expert in. However,
Expert in.
I do
Yes,
I
sir.
do mix all of my demos and all of like I send roughs to people that I want, and that's what they are now. Okay, this is what you can take it from there. But yeah, Fill Over Flash is something that is still fresh, it's still new. So, getting the word out,
Mm.
that's a part of right now. It's just like spreading it. So, I hope that people would continue to look at it because whether you want to or not, it's coming. So,
Mm. Yes, sir. That's why you said, I think I can remember that leaving integral impact over momentary impression. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that's a great one.
absolutely.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I mean, I just had to write that at the back of my mind. Wow, this is such a great quote that I think I also need to like drink from. I mean, that's a whole lot. So thank you
Yeah,
very much, sir. Okay, okay, all right. Yes. Another question right there that I've always loved to ask people who have always been around here with us is that, you know, music. Hello,
okay. You
are you with me,
you have,
sir? Are you with
okay,
me?
I lost you for a second.
Okay. So I said yes. Okay. The first one is how do you tend to make a balance between family and music? You
Hmm.
got me?
Yep. So
You get that? So, like, how do you tend to make the balance? Because I know you are a married man, and how do you like? How are you able to take up the responsibility of being a musician, being a husband, and being a father?
well, I'm not a father yet, so I just want to make
Yeah,
sure that
yeah.
that
I know. Like, I know you're still going to become a father someday.
yeah, one
So,
day. No,
like,
one
how?
day. Yeah, one day for sure. But no, I don't want to put nothing out there that's not already there. But yeah. So I, how do you balance it, man? Uh, it's crazy because a lot of the conversation I had yesterday with my mentor and big brother is it's you have to find balance in the unbalance, right?
Yes,
There's
sir.
there's never enough time at for me personally, there's never enough time at home, and there's also
Mm,
never enough time of working and putting in the time to create a certain lifestyle and provide and there's always going to be something of like, okay, well, there's something that I need more of. And so I make peace with the fact that when I'm home, like now, this is something that I've been doing is like myself and Lyric is just like taking the time to just hang. Um,
sir.
whether we do something extravagant or not, you just take the time
Mm,
to focus in on
yes,
us.
sir.
And then, when I'm away, I'm doing different stuff, whether it's sessions or just even on the tours and just being gone, our check-ins and
Mm,
stuff, just being intentional when we
yes,
have
sir.
that time together. But you have to figure it out along the way while it's still happening. So there's never really a balance. You have to kind of accept the unbalance and find a way to move with it. Um,
Mm,
you're always gonna have to work on something. So
yes, sir.
I think it's being okay with that it's not always okay.
Mm, mm,
Hmm.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, all right. Because I think one thing again is that this is much more of a great prayer. People should always ask for. I mean, God giving you your own bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. Like somebody who really understand who you are and can see through you, like what you are, the kind of person you are, and trying to blend and understand you much more better. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So, all right. Another question again is that, um, like I've seen you that you have a great connections. I mean, right in the street across the globe, friends, and family. So, how do you think to how do you think to still keep that relationship with people? Likewise, being such a great aim list musician, like being among the A-list musician, because is a is a thing to make a friendship or to have a relationship, and it's another thing to keep that relationship. So how were you able to? I mean, that's part you being always simple, like you said earlier on. It doesn't matter the kind of atmosphere or the kind of gathering you are. Like you still want people to just feel that that's you, that aspect of you in an humble
Yeah,
or humility way. Not so. How were you able to still keep a relationship in music? Like, yes, sir.
yeah. You have to. There is a laser focus that you have to have. One of obviously, I love Michael Jordan, and that's a huge influence on just life in general. When I was playing basketball, and then just the mentality of now how to maneuver through life. But Kobe Bryant, someone else who like had that same laser focus. You know, I keep all of my relationships watered with the different
Mm,
people. I check in, I check on people. At the end of
yes,
the
sir.
day, we're all working, we're all doing a job, but like every relationship to me is not business or work. Like I'm really in a state of like really caring, and I feel like
Mm,
I've always been that way. But the only way you can show that to people is by being consistent in your
mm,
actions. And so for me, it's like, you if you care, you check in. If you care, you tap in with people, whether we're working on something or not. And but it still takes a laser focus because I haven't been home for long periods of time in a while. So you really have to. I've given up the idea of being like comfortable,
mm,
if that makes sense.
mm. Yes,
Like
sir.
I'm comfortable in uncomfortable situations, like because
Mm,
once if I was to stop moving, then I stop growing, I stop learning, I stop excelling,
yes,
I
sir.
stop it
Yes,
cuts
sir.
off it cuts off my heartbeat a little bit to be stagnant or to not be doing something. And everyone's
Mm,
wired differently, but for the people that are wired like that, you got to be moving. So for me, it's watering those relationships along the way, but I have different goals that I'm headed to. So you can't take
yes,
me
sir.
away from those goals, no matter what you have
Yes,
going on.
sir.
I'm going to do. Man, this Wi-Fi is doing something crazy. I think we have the limit,
I'm
ain't it?
yes. I'm with you. I'm with you, sir. Sorry, I got a network issue right here. I'm trying to figure it out. So
Gotcha.
I got you, sir. Okay. All right. So another one, quick one right here is you as a music producer, um you as a music producer, what do you look out for in a song?
Um, I I look for a story. One, I, I look
Mm,
for I look for ideas musically, instrumentally, and vocally that are original, and there's also the other side of something that is familiar. Um, songs now. I would have to say, okay, so as much as I want to hear an original idea, I also want to hear elements of we would call it vintage, but it's really just like an ode or an honor to something before our time as well. That kind of, has a it pays a respect to what came before. So,
sir.
I like older music in general. So when new sonics and new sounds have older vibes and older, you know, execution to a newer sounding song, that's when I'm most intrigued personally. So that's what I would say for sure.
Okay, all right, sir. Okay, okay. Now, I don't know what. Now, I'm trying to try. I'm just trying to change the direction a bit into music production because I know you're a great music producer as well. So I'm just trying to digress my questions.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing is that what do you think that, or the goal of a music producer, like what music producer do is just to emphasize and see the heart of an artist
Right.
and help the artist to just achieve what he or she wants to do on a project. So what are those things? Because these days, music producer out there, some people are not getting it wrong, right? Rather, so what do you think is the process when working with an artist? What's the music production process when working with an artist?
The the music production process is more
Yes,
about
when working with an artist on a project.
no. Yeah, so with that, a lot of the process is not just musical. It's really characteristic and behaviorally observant. Like, the thing about being a music producer is more so about understanding who you need in the room in order to complete something
Mm,
more than it is just about the execution. Because if you know the right people, then you will have the right execution.
mm,
Um,
mm.
and and with any artist vision, like that's the first thing I think about. Okay, so like for this, what does that artist need that's going to bring this forward? And what can I bring to life with who, knowing what this artist does and who they are as an artist. So yeah, I would say, music production for me is more about the people than it is about the music, because if I have the right people, I'm always going to have the right music. I'm going to have the right
Yes,
sound.
sir.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So, okay, all right. Now, we're bringing this to a close very soon because we don't want to waste much of the time. Like,
Yeah.
you've really tried for it.
Oh yeah.
So that you
We
can
we've been
get.
on here an hour now. They'll be all right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, okay, I think let me just say that I got just, let me say that I got two questions left now.
Okay.
Let me just say that I got two questions left. Okay. So, the other one I have is, let me say, what is your what is your advice, or what are your advice for people out there, some of your fans, and people who are looking up to you, who want to be like you, might not be able to actually be like you though, but people who are seeing you as your mentor, somebody who they see you as a light that can shine on their path, and that can show them the way to navigate through the musical journey. So, what is your advice for your people out there? They are right here watching you. So, what are the words you have for
Yeah.
them, sir?
I would say to everyone that's watching, my advice would be to one, to take hold of what you already possess. That is your light. Since we, like you just said
Mm.
about mine, we all have our own light.
Yes, sir.
Be willing to stay focused, knowing the goals that you want to get to, but watch what God does in the movement around you, or that is on the way to where you're going. Because
Mm.
a lot of times we will be busy doing what we want to do, or just something that we just feel like we should be doing, and you're actually taking up time from what you could be doing.
Mm.
Um, be willing to be flexible, be teachable.
Mm.
Um, treat every opportunity with the same respect and integrity.
Mm.
And I mean,
Mm.
and I mean the same respect and integrity. Before I was playing in arenas and stadiums, I played every club gig like I was playing in arena and stadiums. It's all the
Mm.
same to me. None of it is different. How you do
Different.
anything is how you do everything. And Pastor Darius Daniels at Change Church talks about that. How you do anything is how you do everything. And those are the things that separate good people from great
Mm.
people and exceptional musicians. And that's those are some of the big things. And to keep your reputation as
Mm,
clean as you possibly can, because
mm,
Rick Watford, who's another mentor of mine, big brother who I get to play with often, amazing guitarist, one of the most recorded guitar players for sure I know in gospel and in several other genres. Um, he, his biggest thing that he's ever told me, that I this is the last thing I'll leave on this question. With reputation,
mm,
there's three parts to it. When you first walk in the room, your reputation is behind you. No one knows it.
mm.
No one knows you. They're still trying to figure you out. This What you do from that point allows for the second time that you are reintroduced to people is when your reputation walks
Mm.
in with you.
So,
So now
yes, sir.
people have an idea of who you are, and they recognize what you bring. And then the third part of your reputation is when now you've created enough value to where your reputation precedes it.
Reputation.
So then your reputation is already in the room, and then you just walk in, and
Mm.
now that's created. So your reputation is extremely important, and that would be the last thing that I would add to that for sure.
Yo, thank you very much, sir. I mean, thank you so much. I mean, we we can just
Yeah.
keep this going on, but he had to leave because he has a whole lot of stuff to attend to. So we only have, I think we have one question, yes.
Okay.
Then we call it a day, just one. Okay, Gerald Eld, I think he's asking that. Would you consider obsession to being a good part of your journey in drumming?
Obsession.
Yes, sir.
And obsession is okay. Would that be contribute like being obsessed with it?
Yes,
That's
sir.
okay. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That goes back to my point, like with Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and LeBron and all these people, like, because sports is like my favorite to look at when it comes to mentalities. And
Mm,
anything you want to be great at, you have to be obsessed with. Um,
mm,
and there is no other way, because if you want to just slightly do some things, and if you want to just, and this again, when I say this is not demeaning it or putting it down or coming from a condescending way. This is my thought process. To do the things that I've done and the things that I want to do, and to the people that want to do something similar, everything you do, you have to be obsessed with. You have to be obsessed with how your drums sound. So you got to make sure you obsess over tuning. If
mm,
you want to know different approaches, you watch different drummers and see how they approached, and what were their thought process, and you try to get as deep into that as you can, and you are a student, but you have to be obsessed with it. And
yes, sir.
then eventually, the more you've been obsessed over all of the things that you need, then it just comes out. So now it's not this
Mm,
thing of like, what do I do? It's like, no, I have it already.
yes, sir.
Just do it.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, that's something that I would definitely say is you definitely have to be obsessed. That's a great question, because
Yes,
most
sir.
people are not obsessed with
Mm,
what they do,
mm,
and so that's why you get the outcome that you don't want, because you're not obsessed.
mm, with it.
Yeah,
Wow, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, a shout out, a big shout out to this amazing, I mean, phenomenal musician, Joshua Foster. I mean, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very
thank you,
much.
bro.
Thank you very much for coming around. I mean, this is much more of impact making, and like you said earlier on, you putting up a reputation already. I
Yeah.
mean, this. Yes, sir. So thank you very much for coming around. For people who are around and people who are gonna be watching this live later, we say very big thanks to you. Please, yeah, all stay tuned. Follow now, Feel Over Flash. Follow now at George Foster Music Production. I mean, he is dishing out this community. They are also dishing out great one, and I bet you that you will regret this. Y'all go follow now, Feel Over Flash. I mean, I've been testify like I've seen a lot of couple of their works online, and this has been so amazing. So
Thank you,
thank you
man.
very much, fams.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you for making it up. We love you. We look forward to that time that we're gonna bring this to Nigeria. I
Let's
mean,
go.
that's gonna
Let's
be
go.
of a very some.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
One of my best friends from Nigeria, Eli and Boho, who plays bass. We play
Who's that?
Eli and Boho. We play together a lot. He's from Nigeria.
Haley. How did I get the name?
Yeah, check him
So
out.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, sir, for coming around. This really means to us. My regards to your family and friends. The Lord will keep on keeping you. I mean, this has really been a huge blessing, not only for our community, but you've left a footprint that will be of a great blessed memory for us. That thank you very much. I mean, this life is gonna be it's gonna be a video we're gonna reckon with in few years to come.
Yeah.
I mean that this evening is a great one. Thank you very much, sir. We love you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we bring this live session to one end, and thanks for joining. We love you. We appreciate you. We celebrate you. Thank you, and God bless. And see you all very soon. We keep on putting out update on our platform, on our social platform, to get much more of our updates. And next guest we're going to be bringing up there to share with us and to make impact and that can help you level up your music career and step up your game. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for
Go.
coming. Bye
All
bye,
right.
sir. Love
Have a
you.
good one.
Thank you,
Love
sir.
y'all. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.